Bring in David Mark with Politico. David, welcome.
My pleasure.
At the Kennedy Center last night, Senator Claire McCaskill talked on the red carpet on the way in. She talked about tax cuts, the possibility of extending unemployment benefits. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll talk.
Sure.
Well, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to make sure we keep tax cuts in place for the middle class in this country. I'm frustrated that the Republicans are holding the middle class hostage for really added tax bonuses for millionaires that we can't afford right now with our deficit. So I think we'll see what unfolds this week. But it would be nice if they would come to their senses and realize that giving a tiny tax bonus to multimillionaires, it's much more important when we look at the deficit right now.
On Face the Nation this morning, John Kyle said that there might be a chance that unemployment benefits be looped in with the tax cuts in one bill to kind of expedite the process. Do you think that that might be something that's on the table?
Well, I think we have to get the unemployment benefits extended, not the length of time someone gets unemployment, but making sure people get beyond the 26 weeks that people who've been unemployed last year got. We need to make it fair for people in terms of unemployment. That has to be done. The irony is John Kyle wants us to give a tax bonuses to multimillionaires and wants us to pay for the unemployment benefits, but wants to put those on the credit card. Go figure.
What about don't ask, don't tell? Any shot?
I think we'll get START done. Once again, I think the Republican Party is really playing fast and loose with national security when they're refusing to take up START until they get their tax cuts for billionaires and millionaires. But I don't know about don't ask, don't tell. I'm hopeful we'll get it repealed by the end of the year. I think most people in America, after looking at the survey from the armed services, listening to the Secretary of Defense and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, I think everyone realizes it's time that a policy that frankly doesn't allow our military to serve with integrity needs to be put on the shelf.
Okay, David Mark, you heard Senator McCaskill, and it does appear that the Republicans and Democrats are actually on kind of the same page.
Right. Notice Senator McCaskill left some wiggle room there. She said it would be nice if we only gave these tax cuts for those in the middle class. She didn't say she would vote against a broader package extending all the tax cuts. Of course, Senator McCaskill is up for re-election in 2012, so this is clearly on her mind. It does look like a deal is moving forward in some form to extend all of the Bush-era tax cuts, maybe for a year, 2 years, 3 years. That's still being negotiated.
But the President's Deputy Press Secretary, Bill Burton, said on Air Force One this morning, on the way down to North Carolina, where the president is at the moment, that the president wouldn't sign anything that didn't include an extension of unemployment benefits.
Absolutely. This is kind of a core Democratic White House priority. This is something Democrats might have gotten on their own, so maybe it's kind of a face-saving measure, a trade-off for the tax extenders, but it does look like that will be included. Now, how far that goes to people who have been on unemployment for 99 weeks or so, going on 2 years, if it gets pushed further out, that's still being worked out as well.
If you look at some of the commentary that's been written about this over the past weekend, a lot of people think the president has allowed himself to get rolled.
That seems to be the general consensus of it, that this was a core candidate Obama promised that tax cuts from the Bush era would be extended to the middle class, as he called it. The administration defined that as $250,000 or under. Now it looks like he's kind of going a different direction and saying we will extend it all. Some would call it about political reality. Others would say it's political capitulation.
Well, the White House, of course, is framing it as do whatever is necessary to absolutely extend these tax cuts for the middle class. But having said that he was not going to do it if it included the higher income earners, he looks like maybe he caved.
If he's going to face any discomfort over this, any wrath, it's going to be from the left wing of the Democratic Party. Core constituency, to be sure. We saw this with George H.W. Bush on his no new taxes pledge 20 years ago. And it will be interesting to see if there's kind of an inverse effect of that with President Obama.
They say that they hope they can get this tax cut stuff done in the next couple of days. What do you think?
It may be it's possible, but it may be tied up to these broader issues. As you mentioned, unemployment insurance extension, perhaps the START nuclear treaty, as Senator McCaskill alluded to. There may be a couple of other extraneous measures. I do think, though, lawmakers want to get out of town and maybe do not want to prolong this too much.
Well, if they want to get out of town, have they really got time to take up the START treaty, which the president also insists he wants to get done in this lame duck session?
It seems like this might be part of this grand bargain, another face-saving measure, you might say, for the administration, where it allows them to get some other victory if they are giving up on the tax cut portion that they wanted. It looks like the momentum is moving in the White House's direction on that front, so I'd be surprised if they really wanted lawmakers to get out of town before that treaty got ratified.
David, Mark, thank you very much for
My
being with
pleasure.
us. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
It'll be interesting.